Good morning. I'm Beth Wassink, Office Manager with Kids Hope USA, and I'd like to welcome you to the 2020 Grand Rapids IT Symposium and this breakout session called Reimagine Your Managed Services, sponsored by Envizion IT. In the next half hour, I'll be sharing how Kids Hope USA partnered with Envizion IT and together how we reimagined our managed services to grow our organization and execute our mission more effectively. So let me start by giving you a little background on Kids Hope USA, what we do, and where we were at. Again, I'm Beth Wassink, Office Manager at Kids Hope USA, and I've been with Kids Hope USA for about 13 years. I've worn many hats while at the organization, all in support roles, from supporting our church partners to our own staff. And I found that having an effective IT plan has played a big part in that support role. At Kids Hope USA, our mission is to build life-changing relationships one at a time through mentoring. We focus on the power of one mentor, one student, 1 hour, one church, one school. We connect a church with a school. That church supports the school with mentors, and mentors are assigned to one student. They meet once per week for 1 hour at the school. It's hard to believe how much power there really is in one. And principals are really talking about Kids Hope USA. One principal had this to say: Kids Hope USA has the largest impact on the students of any program I've worked with. It doesn't throw money at a problem, but rather people. And we've grown to be the largest faith-based mentoring organization in the United States, and we're covering 37 states, and we're in over 1,000 public schools. And super exciting this year, we are celebrating our 25th year of service. So why mentoring? Well, the need is great. So children are coming to school with social and emotional needs. They're stuck in situations that they did not choose, and it's making life really difficult, making learning really difficult. These situations include broken homes, death of a parent, incarceration of a parent, learning disability. Maybe they're just socially awkward. There's just lots of situations that could impact why a child is not doing well at school. So what can be done? Well, back in 1994, our founder, Dr. Virgil Gulker, worked with sociologists, law enforcement, health professionals, educators, child development experts to research what could be done. Well, their conclusion after some research was fill the relational voids in kids' lives. Send people to personally meet with students who need reliable, caring adult relationships, and start with children at the earliest ages. We promote one-on-one mentoring that communicates a you matter to the child, and it just targets the focus on the needs of one child. And we're trying to mentor children in their youngest years. Those are the formative years. And it acts as an early intervention to help promote avoiding risky behavior later in life. So believe it or not, 1 hour a week with a willing, caring adult really does make a difference. After the research showed that we needed to fill a void, we asked, well, who's going to do that? And that's when we identified the church-school partnership model. Now, churches must adhere to the separation of church and state. That's non-negotiable. And churches are a perfect fit for this because churches are groups of people that are caring and want to impact their communities. We were curious about the results of our mentoring model, so we partnered with the Carl Frost Center for Social Science Research at Hope College. They evaluated the 1 hour per week for 1 year with a Kids Hope mentor model. And the amount of students reading at grade level nearly doubled, and grade level scores in math doubled as well. So just imagine if you had someone who just wanted to come and meet with you for an hour once a week, just to be with you and to speak words of encouragement. Who wouldn't want that? How many want that for our own children? So just imagine the impact on a child who rarely hears their name spoken in a positive tone. We see improvement in emotional health, their ability to relax and just be themselves. We see improvements in behavior and academic performance. And there's extended results too. The positive effects of mentoring a student spreads like ripples through water to their teachers and their fellow classmates and all the way home to family. Mentors grow. We're finding that 4 out of 5 mentors report that their faith is strengthened by the relationship with the child. And we're finding that relationships last. 91% of our mentor-student matches last 2 years or longer. And that's a big increase compared to the 5 months for most school-based mentoring organizations. And one really exciting thing too is that 90% of our church partners end up serving their schools and their families and their students well beyond the mentoring program. So what does Kids Hope provide? We provide structure. We have a turnkey structure that's designed to not tax the time of the church staff or the school staff. The church appoints a director to lead and manage the program and is the point of contact between the church and the school. They really champion the program at the church. They recruit, screen, and train the mentors. And all the school needs to do is provide the mentoring space, refer the students, and then collect permission from a parent or guardian. Kids Hope provides comprehensive training. We provide training through protected web portals on our website. We have a director training, so when a program comes on, they identify their director. That director goes through a 4-week training that's hosted and conducted all online, and with personal guidance from a Kids Hope team member. And we also have we provide the mentor training. So the church doesn't have to come up with that, it's church or school. That mentor training is also conducted online through our protected portal. And we provide ongoing support and resources. Kids Hope USA is with you for life. We have regional teams across the country that will help support you right where you are. We have a mentoring curriculum, so if you don't know what to do during that mentoring hour, we have lots of great ideas and suggestions. We also offer ongoing webinars and learning, additional continued learning opportunities for topics like understanding the effects of poverty and trauma-informed mentoring and the effects of racism on a child. So Kids Hope USA was established in Michigan. We're headquartered here, and until recently we served Michigan, West Michigan specifically. But word got out and we started to grow. So about 3 years ago, we decided to launch regional offices. And actually those offices were 1-person regional representatives working out of their homes around the country. So now we had people working outside of our main office and in different time zones. So we went from having like 20 employees right in our office in Zeeland to only 6 employees in the main office, and the rest of them were all throughout the United States. And we mostly hosted everything in our headquarters in Zeeland. We had in our office, we had a server, a Dell PowerEdge R330 that had our domain controller, our print server, our file server, our QuickBooks, and our email exchange server, and we had a battery backup to help us with that. Our network, we had a WatchGuard router and the Netgear 48 port switch, and we had 2 wireless access points in the office. And that was okay if you were in the headquarters office. You know, we had desktops or laptops, we had phones, and we had broadband cable. And the people outside of the office had VPN access. The slow VPN connection for those accessing data on the file server resulted in the offsite employees saving everything to their local PCs. And implementing and upgrading the offsite PCs was really painful, and keeping them connected to the domain was also really hard. It's even worse. And to give you a clear picture of where we are at now, or where we were at when we started to partner with Envizion IT, we had moved some data online and to the cloud. So we have a website that we had a custom built portal to host our training and reporting for our programs, our partners. And then we also had moved our Razor's Edge donor management software that had been on the server, but we moved it to the cloud so that we use the donor management software also as like a customer relationship manager software. So all of our representatives were using it to record their activity with prospect churches and schools. So we had moved that up into the cloud too, so that they could use that easier. And then we did move to a voice over IP solution. So we had worked with the same managed service provider for many years, and we're basically treating our relationship more like an insurance plan, and we were paying a monthly flat rate. And unfortunately, every issue that came up wasn't resolved easily, and it often turned into a project. And the projects that we implemented didn't always resolve the issues, so it wasn't necessarily resulting in lower monthly costs. And then, we weren't getting the right solutions to some of our biggest problems. One of the biggest ones was we wanted to move to a voice over IP solution so we could easily transfer calls and have an automated system. And the VoIP system that was recommended to us was super complex. It required firewalls at people's homes on their home networks, and just the employees weren't having it. They just went back to using their cell phones or Slack or any of the other apps that are out there. They were texting. It's just, we really didn't want them using their personal phones. And again, employees were still saving important files on their laptops and not using the most current version of our forms and our collateral, because it was all over the VPN. It was just really too cumbersome to use, and they just couldn't connect. So basically, we were still having everyone connect to the on-site servers when 70% of the organization was off-site. And our strategy wasn't aligned with our managed service provider. I mean, that could have been a root of the problem. It felt like our former provider didn't really take the time to understand the big picture, that we were no longer a local nonprofit, and we had grown into a national organization serving the whole country. And we did meet with them on an annual basis, and we just didn't have the knowledge of new and emergent technology. So we struggled to identify opportunities where we could implement solutions to reduce IT costs or even forecast them. And then costs would pop up in the middle of the year, making it hard to resolve other issues. So developing a strategic plan with Envizion IT was key to aligning our organizations. We wanted to serve our church partners well, right where they were located. And that meant employees and partners needed to have the same user experience, no matter where they were located. So basically, we really needed to move everything to the cloud, and we could no longer rely on a single network. Also, because our employees and partners aren't always the best at tech. We needed off-site setup to be simple and automatic. And because our employees and partners are relationship builders, they need to be mobile and available and flexible. Our goal or plan was to move to more of a pay for what you use model based on the support we had been using. So we had been paying, X amount of dollars and having all access. Oftentimes we didn't really use all of the services that were available to us, but we were still paying for them. So our plan was based on implementing a few key projects. And these projects were to fix our pain points, which were resulting in the most complaints from employees and our support tickets. So the first thing we did was migrate all of our email to Office 365, and that resolved a lot of the connectivity issues and made it easier to set up and use on any device. Then we moved our data from our file server to SharePoint because most people were not storing, again, those critical documents in a central location. And then our existing VoIP solution, it was just wrong for functionality and it was super expensive. So we strive to start documenting and standardizing processes. We wanted to do this in the spirit of one of the 5 lean principles, mapping the value stream, so we could eliminate some wasted time and energy. Like, for example, when we wanted to set up checklists for onboarding and offboarding employees, we had an HR checklist, but we didn't cover all the items needed to set up a new device. We were always forgetting things. We always had to put in a support ticket. So just documenting and standardizing what happens every time we brought on an employee or somebody left, that was a huge help. Also, we started using the Pareto support ticket system. And that was to help us track time and frequency of support tickets, to help us determine an ROI of a project too. Is it worth doing? And then we wanted to create some service level, some set service level requirements, meaning that implementing set escalation levels and clearly defining recovery time and recovery point objectives. So some of the results that we've experienced as we've implemented the plan, our plan was to just go with paying for 10 support hours a month. And we've been averaging about 11.7, which is not terrible considering we had a lot of setup to do and we had all those projects that we had implemented in the beginning, which just resulted, that alone, just paying for 10 hours of service support was a savings of about 40%. And we were having about an average of 11.9 support tickets a month in 2019, and we've already practically halved that. In 2020, we're down to 6.5 tickets per month. And then our overall expenses, we've really had a lot of savings. We've had about an annual savings of over $26,000, and to give you kind of a perspective on that, most of us here at Kids Hope are part-time, so $26,000 is like having another employee on. So that's awesome. And it just really cut our IT budget in half. The solutions were simple and cost-effective. In Teams and SharePoint are really being used, and we're really starting to really embrace them. And it's especially during this whole COVID thing, it's great that we switched to those because we are using so many of those of the features of Teams and SharePoint. So some next steps are to we just want to continuously improve. So we still need to migrate all of our end user devices to Intune and the Azure AD, the authentication devices, and the mobile device management software. We're finding right now that the current procurement process is taking more than 2 hours, and we're hoping we can get it closer to an hour if we implement this project. Let's see, and processes are primed always for improvement. Will be review steps that can be automated or simplified or eliminated totally. Again, that user creation is in our top 5 items to improve the process on. And then, of course, we always want to reduce our cost. We want to utilize our quarterly IT planning sessions to brainstorm cost savings and cost savings initiatives, and just where can we save money? Where can we have like new processes or new software that can lower costs, and we actually get to see, being part of the planning process of that, we actually get to see the savings ourselves. So our relationship with our managed service provider has evolved into a partnership. We work together to identify ways to save costs, and we get to experience the effects of those savings. And it's important for us to be able to articulate those savings when asking for donor dollars. Also, we are more informed and educated about how new technology and how we can use it to serve our partners, ultimately resulting in more one-on-one mentoring relationships. Thank you for your attention today, and thanks to Envizion IT for the opportunity to share our managed services journey with you. Again, we are in our 25th year of building one-on-one life-changing mentoring relationships, and I would be remiss if I didn't ask. Please join us in celebrating our 25th year with a $25 donation. Your support will help ensure that we will be able to continue matching students with caring, reliable adult mentors for many more years to come. It's quick and easy to do by visiting kidshopeusa.org today. Thank you.